close to just adding some random guy. I just typed in your name and I was like, oh, I think that's him, and I added it. And luckily, and there's a like ringing thing, and I kept pressing it. So some poor guy's gonna be like, "Who the hell
leave
is
me alone."
How are you?"
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I've been off since Monday. So I finished night shifts Monday morning, and then I've just been off. I was supposed to be in Paris this weekend to see my sisters, but no dice, I'm afraid.
It's the same for everyone, isn't it? The same. All plans cancelled.
Grounded. So yeah, I've just been trying to keep busy. To be fair, I'd rather just be back at work because there's not that much to do. Bit of cycling, bit of running, trying to sort out like jobs for next year, but that's all ground to a halt as well. So pretty much just doing very much.
Today's hit me as the first day of like extreme boredom, like extreme, like just hating myself and just being pissed off at everything. I think I'm going to complete Netflix. I think.
We were watching Netflix over dinner, and I was just like, I wonder how many hours of like viewing there actually is on this app, and like, would it be possible to complete it in the next 8 weeks or something?
There'll definitely be some people in the race for it, 100%.
I was enjoying your Instagram stories. They're keeping my spirits high with the plants and the weird like interactive meme things, whatever they were. I don't even know.
Yeah, I started doing them. Someone sent me loads of those weird filter things, but then people, like quite a few people, messaged me like, "Oh, that's funny, that's good," and then people started like telling me to do them, and then like, and the last day I did them, like yesterday or whenever, like my heart wasn't in it. Like, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah,
people were like, "Oh, you haven't posted anything today." And I was like, "Oh," and I posted something, and I hated myself because I was like, I didn't want to do that. I don't know why I did that.
Maybe you should do a post about not wanting to do animations, not being forced to do them when you don't want to do them.
Yeah. I think people are so bored that they're just like, perform. You must do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the few people that's still at work. I mean, I played myself. Obviously, I went to go traveling, quit my job and that.
Yeah.
And lasted a week, so I don't even get that. Nah, it's fine. I don't even get that like government pay or anything. I don't. I just played myself hard.
Yeah. Is it still possible to get new jobs in like, I don't know?
There's like farming and like supermarkets and like supermarket delivery and all stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I think I might start looking now because the first few days I came back from Canada, I was like, I was kind of jet lagged, and I was like, I don't know what's just happened, and I had to go to my neighbour's funeral.
Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, they died before coronavirus, before it was on trend. So. And I just went from like being like, yeah, I'm gonna like go through the wilderness in Canada, to just being at some guy's funeral in the weirdest of circumstances where everyone's wearing like gloves and shit. I was like, what is?
Fuck's sake, yeah.
Life's that's absolutely done me in. Because before I went, there was a woman at work that was going on about coronavirus, and I was like, relax. Yeah, I was like, these things like Ebola, like all that stuff, like, we'll be fine. You're not going to get it. And now everyone's, fearing for their lives.
Everyone's like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, with your job, how soon did you guys start to realise that, like, oh, shit's going down?
Yeah. I think, like, obviously there's been lots of stuff in the media and then sort of government stuff. And I think there was probably a few bits and pieces coming through via like management and emails a bit before like the media hype built, that was kind of a bit sobering. Like, okay, maybe this is actually happening now. It's got to, like, it moved to Italy from China and then came across Europe, and then so that sort of brought it forward a bit. And then I think really in the last sort of 2 weeks, it's actually got a lot quieter first. I think people have been staying away from the hospital. Obviously, probably having a second thought before going into the GP practice of the hospital. Aware that obviously this coronavirus thing's going on and they don't want to clog the system up. But I think things are now starting to pick up a bit, and there's the potential for sort of people being moved around as and where they're needed, and sort of all plans are on hold until further notice, really. So I'd say last 2 weeks has been quiet, and then really in the last few days it's starting to sort of ramp up a bit. Yeah,
because you see people like hotels and like I think even Manchester City said their stadium would be available in some capacity, and that made me think like, oh, they're already at like the hospital's already at full capacity now, and it's going to shit, but it's not quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it varies from place to place. Obviously, I can only speak for where I'm working in Scotland, but at the moment, it's sort of building up, but it's not quite there. I saw that. Was it Phil Neville or Gary Neville put up their hotel?
I saw that. Yeah,
and there's loads of places which has been like, it's quite nice to see, really, isn't it? That everyone's sort of getting together and help each other out. There's quite a few hotels in city centre here that have sort of offered up their rooms for anybody who needs to, if they can't travel or if they need to isolate. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of options and help coming forward, which is great to see as well.
You got that little round of applause, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know what that was at first. It was weird, and then I heard like loads of people beeping their horns and stuff, and I was like, "What is going on?"
We were having dinner, and I wasn't really aware of it either. And then we all just heard all this like cheering outside. We live in like a set of flats that's like in a square, and there's like a quad in the middle, and you could just see like people waving stuff out the window and screaming and shouting. And actually, quite a few of the like group chats on WhatsApp with other doctors, everyone was sort of saying, "Oh, it's actually like when you hear of stuff like that in the media, you're like, oh no, that's a bit sort of tacky and probably wouldn't be into that." When you actually do hear it in person, it was quite sort of special and resounding, which was nice to see.
Yeah. Did you do a knee slide out in the streets?
Yeah.
Did you take your top off?
Yeah, I wish. Try to keep social distancing at that point. So
yeah, I had this thought. I was in central London because I did get 1 day's work, and I was driving around in a van in central London, which was completely dead. We went through Trafalgar Square, which was empty, and I couldn't help but think like all those big areas are just going to be littered with people once this is over. But then also I thought, imagine if everyone just gives it to each other again.
Yeah.
Like we think we're over it and everyone just plays themselves.
Yeah. And everyone gets ITU'd. Yeah. Not ideal. Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah. That's what we're up to, really, I think. What else is going on at work-wise? As I said, like workload's changed a bit. I think, like as you said, the hotels and stuff is quite nice to see. I think also within the hospital itself, like sometimes I think you can kind of get a bit overwrought with this team wanting to do one thing and another team wanting to do something else. And at the moment, I'd say on the whole, everyone's sort of pulling together a bit more and working as a team, which is really nice to see. And I don't know, sort of personally, it's quite nice to have a bit of purpose. You think you take a step back from it all and you think it's a sort of like a once in a generation type thing where everything that you've studied for and trained for over the years has kind of come to the fore and is actually quite important now. So it's nice to have a purpose and feel like you can actually do something useful, which is
kind of a reflection on like other places as well. Like everyone's actually like banding together a bit. I mean, when we were writing out the questions that we were going to ask people when we did these Skype calls, we did put like I think I left it on there, like something about like positives, like what positives could be there for something, because it's easy. I mean, I know, like I've seen my dad like just glued to the TV watching the news, and that can be quite bad because that will make you shit yourself if you just sit in front of a TV all day. But then, it's those little bits and bobs, which are really nice. Like for the funeral the other day, not many people went. But when the hearse was leaving their home and going down the street, everyone on the road came out and stood outside their houses, which was like really weird. Obviously, but like the worst circumstance. But at the same time, the sun was shining, and I was like, it's kind of beautiful in a way.
It's touch, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But I haven't lost my head quite yet. I'm still getting through it, just because I feel like it's kind of like naive in a way, but you still don't. I don't know anyone that's got it,
Yeah.
so like it almost still doesn't feel real.
Yeah,
They almost be like a local celebrity
just
when
like
you
me.
get
Yeah,
it.
I got the virus. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
what's it
Yeah.
with you if you get it? Like, obviously you're probably at much higher risk. Yeah or no?
Yeah, I think so because you're just coming into contact with people all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think what they're doing is like they're testing NHS staff now. So like if you think you've got the symptoms, you go get a test. Obviously, if you're positive, you need to isolate for a week or 14 days. I think it's only a week. If you're negative, that's fine. It just means you've got some other bug or something going around. But it's nice to be able to sort of know that you've got it or you haven't, and then you can sort of do the right thing as opposed to just isolating for 2 weeks and not really knowing what's going on. I feel like everyone has a bit more control now, which is positive.
What's the test? What's it called?
So I think it's just a swab that you shove down the back of your throat, ram it around a bit, and then one up each of the nostrils, and then they send that off. Although that's what they were using, I don't know if it's changed slightly. Things do seem to be changing like day on day. I think there might be talk of some antigen test coming in, which is like a blood test. But yeah, government keeps changing which assays it's using. So I'm not completely on top of the situation, but yeah, that's what it was when I was last at work. So, yeah.
It's good to know if you, like you're saying, if you got it or not, because I think everyone's got that thing when you get like a little cough or you sneeze, you're like, oh shit, oh no. Like my mum was sneezing on the plane when we were coming back from Canada. And I was like, you stop right now.
I was in a taxi like just before it all kicked off, and you could just feel the back of your throat like tickling, and you're like, oh. Don't want to make that little like just clearing the throat cough to like freak out the Uber driver, but at the same time, man's got a cough. Yeah, no.
Sometimes you got a cough. I always sneeze in the mornings. Like that's just I don't know why. I do it quite a lot, but like when I stay at my aunt's, they were like, "You better keep that sneezing to yourself." They were basically like, in some ways, they were like, "Just go," because they were a bit older, and I think my uncle had cancer at one point. They were proper on edge. Like, and I flew to bloody Washington State, which was like one of the worst hit places in the US.
It was like first place to get stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was weird. Like when I was walking around, that was just a ghost town. And then I went up to Vancouver, and that was just actually literally normal. It was so weird. Like I went from a ghost town to this 4-hour train, which was beautiful, like along the sea line, and then I ended up in Vancouver, and it was like nothing happened. Yeah. And then over the week I was there, it started to get emptier and emptier. And then the government like banned St. Patrick's Day. Have you been to Vancouver before?
Yeah, I have. I went last autumn.
You know that area in like Gastown where there's like loads of homeless people and loads of like
yeah. It's like quite shocking to see compared to the UK, isn't it? It's a very different setup.
I'm thinking, what happens if coronavirus just shoots through that community of people?
Yeah, and that's something you got to think about, isn't it? Because like it's all well and good protecting yourself and protecting people who got houses, but if you don't protect everybody in society, then they'll just be harboring the virus for when everyone comes out. So it makes you think, doesn't it? You need to look after everybody, really. I think there's been talk of putting up homeless folks in hotels and stuff in London, but I don't actually know exactly what's been done. I mean, you still see homeless folks around at the moment, so clearly enough's probably not been done, but yeah, so that's something I need to think about.
Well, that's why I wanted to do this, because I've worked with the last campaign I did. We got meals for homeless people for Valentine's Day, and like, they're going to do this with me as well. The people I worked with and the cafe I worked with. So I'm sure they'll fill me in, and everyone else, if they're interested in what's going on, because we were talking and we were like, this is like one thing that literally everyone is affected by. Like everyone will have some sort of unique perspective. Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure I'm going to get him on. I don't know if he'll have the time. But I got some interesting people. Like I've got like a chocolatier, like from the company I used to work at, like a head chocolatier. just because I'm interested about like the food production and stuff. Like, there's so many things that are just going to go to shit. Obviously, like all this stuff that's going to go out of date, and it's all like these government thing. Like when I worked the other day, it was to move stock for this company, and they were just scrambling because small companies are just like so screwed over right now.
Door and then hope that it's bad. It's really bad for the economy. I was speaking to some family friends today who live in the States. They live in Chicago, and like you'd said, things are different over there. And obviously, there's not such like a welfare state or a safety net for people, and like these small businesses, they're all still open because they have to make money. Because if they don't make any money, then government's not going to pay them out, as you can see in the news. Trump's not particularly keen on doing that, so it's kind of like a do or die situation for them, isn't it? Difficult.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like the Uber driver you just mentioned, those people as well. Like, you see the bus is still going around. I would not get on a bus. I feel like you're going to get coronavirus on the bus, whether there's people or not. Like things like that. I've just been looking at. And someone even told me to get the train somewhere the other day. Like people just aren't getting it still. I mean, we have a mutual friend, Jack, and I won't bait him out on here, but he kept being like, I'll run to your house or something like that. And I was like, mate, just don't. I don't. They live in Wimbledon. It's about like a half marathon away. And he kept being like, I'm just going to run to your house. It's something to do. And I was like, yeah, but that defeats the whole point. But I get his point. It's so boring, but you can't be running half marathons through South London.
Deplete the immune system then just to cough all over one of your mates, do you? So the tough one. What sort of stuff have you been doing other than obviously hilarious Instagram animations to keep busy?
Other than becoming a show pony. Becoming a performing monkey. I'm very fortunate that I have a big garden at my parents' house. So, just out and about, the sun's come out. I planted loads of bamboo the other day, which was actually quite difficult because when you're digging a hole, all the roots from the other trees get involved. And that's kind of long. I saw a friend for the first time today. I had some of his stuff, and he came by. It's actually Tom that I run Dropout with, and we did it was like in a film where I handed over a bag. It was like, put the bag,
put it down.
That's in fact, and he had his hand over his mouth, and he came over, grabbed it, and ran. But no, I've just been planning doing this and working on the identity for it. And reaching out to people, and luckily, people are saying yes because they've got nothing else to do. It's like, I know you're at home.
You're twiddling your thumbs doing fuck all else.
Yeah, because people that are working from home, the general consensus is people have nothing to do as well because their whole businesses, whether they work for a law firm or like a recruiting agency, no one's doing any of the work.
There's no jobs. There's no cases. Nothing's happening.
But it's so weird. And my brother's a police officer, and he goes back to work in a couple of days. So that'll be interesting to hear how he gets on with all of that. He's definitely going to give it to me, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. He'll probably have to pin someone down for coughing in Tesco's and then come home and wipe his hands on the head.
Are you living in the same place, just with Liam?
Yeah. Well, actually, that's interesting. So Liam has got some underlying health issues, so he is having to self-isolate back at home with his parents.
Oh yeah, of course.
Liam's girlfriend moved in, who used to live in Edinburgh, but she was away travelling. But obviously, she's come back. She's a doctor as well to work. So she just moved in 2 days ago. So before that, I was on my own for a month, which was nice for a bit, but I think I was starting to go a bit stir crazy. So it's really nice to have some company and have someone to
especially if you're doing night shifts or something like that as well.
Yeah, I know.
Must have been so weird.
You go through a week and you haven't really had a non-work based conversation with anybody because you're asleep all day long and then you're just back to work. So it's nice to have the company again, which is good. yeah, but we're in the same place. Yeah, so yeah, it's looking good.
Have you noticed that the people at your work are starting to struggle, or is everyone still pretty good? I mean, you
I
guys
feel
are
like,
used to this in a way. Like this is quite like everything's heightened, but like working nights and like washing your hands loads. Like
yeah,
you guys are like, yeah, so what?
I think maybe I'm a bit more aware of like the hand hygiene thing. Nights and stuff is fine. I think everybody's different, aren't they? Like different personalities and horses for courses, but some people are sort of quite enjoying it and relishing it. Other people aren't enjoying the sort of change in routine or the added pressure and not sitting well with them. But I'm sure if you went into any industry or any profession, be similar sort of personalities gonna adapt differently to the situation. So yeah, no, it's interesting and dynamic, but we'll get there in the end, I hope.
Yeah, every now and then like. I think everyone gets it. The doom thought. Like
Yeah,
every now and then. Oh, whoa! This is like when they like do things like cancel the Olympics and stuff. You're like, oh,
don't do
yeah. I mean, I'm really interested to talk to. I reached out to Ollie Wilkes, who we both rode with,
that. Yeah,
just to talk to some athletes and get their opinion on, you
for
know,
them, it'd be really interesting
what.
actually.
Yeah, because so many people would have. For some people, if you've been slacking this year, you're probably like, "Oi!"
Are
But
you here to
for a lot of people, I think you're working so much for one cause. I mean, I said that about I saw some like shops that were about to be opened in Vancouver, and like all these people that have worked up to this goal, and it's like, nah, and it's like not you can't pat them on the back and say these things happen because
yeah,
they don't happen.
yeah, this is the stuff of nightmares. Yeah, no, it's
I
difficult.
don't know what to say. But yeah, I'd be interested. I mean, another year, just another year of getting better. That's the positive way you're supposed to look at it.
You can use the time to your advantage, improve yourself, do something creative, produce something new, like you're doing, Ollie. This podcast, getting insights from people. Yeah,
I just figure it will be so like compared to the other projects I do or have done. This is actually so easy.
yeah,
Like just now, I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and I ate some spaghetti, and now
yeah,
I'm doing my work. Like just
yeah.
like that. Whereas normally I'm like calling people, having to like always go into central London to have like a 2-minute meeting where people are like, "Yeah, let's do that," and I'm like, "Fuck."
You're like that's a waste of time. Yeah,
Yeah. So like we were talking about the constraints that we have on ourselves now in a little intro video that me and Tom did, and we were like, I don't know. I keep saying to him, we're kind of like spiritual sometimes, and we grew up Catholic boys, so we always say God's plan, even though we don't really believe in God. But
quoting Drake.
yeah, but like we were saying, with God's plan, I sound like a preacher now. Let me talk to you about Jesus Christ. With God's plan, even if it's real or not, if you have the mentality, you can always flip things in a good
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Put some positive spin on it.
But don't go saying that at work to people in
No,
medical situations. God's plan.
God has a plan for us all. You'll be fine, maybe. Don't know.
Yeah, God's plan.
Hang in there,
Doctor,
mate.
help me. God's plan.
I'll just bring through the holy water now and see how you do. Start small.
I mean, what are you doing to cope other than like your job? You know, you're like
Yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne at this point in terms of like your this is your time, your profession's time. Everyone's like gonna get shirts with Jack Vojak on the back. I might make one for myself. But what are you doing to relax?
to chill out. I've got actually got a new bicycle yesterday. I'm quite into a bit of road cycling, as you know,
Mm.
and it is all about stash and kit and getting stuff and looking good at the coffee shop. But I got this new road bike, and it arrived like last week. I was kind of pushed into it by coronavirus. Actually, I was just like, "Fuck! If the world shuts down, I won't be able to have a functioning bicycle. I won't be able to get out there and ride." So got it back from the bike shop yesterday. So it's all set up and running, and went out for a ride today. Um, did some interesting loops around Edinburgh actually, and like obviously all the roads are completely dead and there's nothing on them. So it had quite a nice cruise through the city and sort of saw things from a different perspective, which was nice. And I think I'm going to try and get out into the countryside tomorrow and just get stuck into that, see how things look.
That's nice. Yeah.
Nature will still be going at it, so something will be business as usual, hopefully. And what else have I been doing? I've been doing a fair amount of cooking actually this week. So like, for instance, made a sort of veggie ragu yesterday, which was nice. Not something I would normally make. And then was speaking to my little sister on the phone today, asking her for sort of any hot recipes that she'd had recently, and she suggested a shatsuka. Is it shatsuka or shatsuka? I don't know how you say it.
Mate, I'm not here to talk about like food. Like I'm not very clued in on that.
It was some ottolenghi shit. It was good, but it was really easy. We just chucked a few spices, some cayenne, some cumin, some paprika into the veggie like pasta sauce. Fried up a bit of chorizo sausage, and then once that was going nicely, cracked a couple of eggs in, popped the lid on, chucked it under the grill for a bit and into the oven even, and then it came out and it looked like one of those sort of bougie breakfasts you get at those swanky brunch stops. So yeah, no, it's really nice. I
was thinking for cooking, I want to do one of these where I cook something with like a chef, but I just think that would go so badly. Like it would be so, like I'm just not like. I remember when I was going out with my girlfriend once, I was trying to cut up an onion, and I was like 19 at the time, which still is not an excuse. But I was like, cut it this way, and I sort of thought I knew how to do it. Yeah, I was like, and to be honest, I ain't got much better.
Well, there's time to learn if you're interested. Just get stuck into it. But yeah, no, it's good. What else? A bit of running. There's fuckloads of people out running. It's like, I don't know. It's like it's marathon season or something. Is it going off like that?
Yeah. There was loads of people running around here.
Yeah.
Like way more people out and about than normal. Just because like everyone, it's like you don't want to go outside, but someone tells you you can't go outside, and you're like, well, fuck you, I'm going outside. There's a lot of people out running that look like they've never run in their life before.
Do you reckon people are also like, oh shit, I forgot to get quavers from the shop, but I'm not allowed to go back again today, so like I'll put my trainers on and like run to the shop? And
true, very true. Yeah. I've bought a few Easter eggs to keep me going.
Oh, you love Easter eggs. You love Easter eggs.
I do love Easter eggs. They get me through each day. Yeah. I haven't had one today though. I looked myself in the mirror and I said, "You do not need a whole Easter egg today."
No more Easter eggs. When is Easter? Easter must be.
I don't know.
Clock's changed tomorrow morning. That's big.
See, I'm clearly not God's plan enough because I don't know when Easter is.
Yeah, man.
Letting the side down.
Can't preach to me without knowing the dates. Yeah.
That's a good cooking and exercise is pretty solid. I mean, I said to someone, you can go two ways. You can become it's different for you because you're still working, but for all the people at home, it's like you become fat or obese. You have like two choices. You can do like prison weights, or you can just get really fat.
Get takeaway food. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're your two options.
So you've been doing lots of interviews. Am I your first interview, or have you interviewed a few other folks? You mentioned a few names.
I did a pilot episode yesterday with like 5 people that I work with a lot. And I was just working out how many people's good, because I did a quiz with my mates from school like 2 days ago, and there was like
one of those, they're quite good.
There was like 15 of my mates though in it, and it was just carnage. It took honestly about 4 hours because everyone, like one person was the quiz master, and no one, like people wouldn't shut up. And like one of our mates had his family, like his whole family participated, and it was just, they would have heard some horrible things because they were just boys behaving. So think of all these lads that have been kept stuck in their houses for days, talking to no one. Then give them a load of beers, and they were just
went off.
Behaved, yeah.
Real prawn style.
Yeah. So I don't want these to be like that. I don't want to get too many people. I doubt people will come on here smoking cigarettes and drinking beers and being like
living room cigarettes.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, I'm not gonna do. I mean, I'm quite interested to do some like mixes of people and get
Yeah,
like people from different industries or similar industries, and then definitely some people that hopefully are like not leading in their field, but like a bit more known. So if you're like a photographer that's quite known, I have someone that I know that's like got a lot of YouTube subscribers. Maybe he can then give comfort to people by suggesting some of his top tips
yeah,
or of like how to release work, how to carry on as normal. And that's the idea, different people doing different things, people of interest, some fusions. I'm going to do
yeah,
one a week where anyone can jump in. But I'm
yeah.
just going to put the link up and be like, let's have it.
You get your dad on it. Your dad would be good chatting there.
Yeah,
Although,
why?
are you living with him at the moment?
I'm living with him at the minute.
Yeah, you could get him in another room and get him on the desktop or something.
Father and son argue on Skype.
Yeah.
I put up that thing that for people that had questions for you. Tim
Oh,
Hopkins sent a question, but I'm not gonna
I'll read it.
ask.
Is it inappropriate?
It's quite inappropriate. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
There was a few legitimate ones, which I appreciated because I think people will get used to this.
Yeah.
People are, I don't know what to say, but once we get into it, the people will know what they're doing. Right. Someone said, "What are doctors and nurses most in need of right now?" I mean, you can't really speak for the whole country, I guess.
What are we
Is
most
it?
in need of right now? I should say something tactical here, so we get what I want, not what we need. Um, I don't know. I tell you what, it's been quite nice at work actually. So like last week, I didn't need to bring food in any of the evenings I was at work because like different companies from around the city had like dropped off like pizza, pasta, chicken, rice, just into like the hospital, and it's quite nice knowing that like you got a tasty, interesting, freshly cooked meal at work, but also it's just nice knowing that people are kind of out there supporting you. So that's quite a nice sentiment, and it's always nice to get free food. So keep up the good work on the food, maybe. I don't know.
Do you
Keeps
think
us.
that people are gonna like value like the NHS is actually this isn't a question. I don't think it is. I'm not nicking a question from anyone. Maybe it is a question.
Yeah,
No,
great.
is it I think I'm stealing this from someone because I heard this, but like with the NHS being such a big topic in the news, like constantly in like elections and stuff, do you think this is going to really make people will see the value in it, like
Yeah,
more than ever?
that's a good point. I mean, I'd love to think so, but there's part of me that's slightly cynical about it all, and Tory governments traditionally just cutting back funding for the NHS and social services and nursing care and everything. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens in 2-3 years' time. Hopefully, this isn't just sort of a flash in the pan in terms of funding and appreciation for things which look after vulnerable groups in society and people's health. But who knows? Yeah, it's a difficult one.
Yeah, that was a guy called Sean McGrath said that. He didn't say it in the right way, so I couldn't find it. But he did say that, and it's a very good point actually, that I hadn't thought of. I think
Yeah,
I think that will definitely be a moment of reflection after this. I think at
yeah,
the minute it's just a bit hectic for everyone to like start making these big revelations or ideas about
yeah,
how everyone is just like we'll talk about that later. Everyone just crack
yeah.
on.
Let's get
Uh,
at the moment. Yeah.
a guy called Duncan said, "What do you think about people still getting home food deliveries?"
Um, I
I
mean,
think it's probably in terms of like a hygiene thing, like fast food deliveries. That's what he said.
I don't know why I'm qualified to give you a comment on that. I mean, yeah, if it stops you going into town, great. As long as you're not coughing on the poor bloke who's delivering it to you, then it's probably fine. I don't know. Chuck the bag in the oven for 10 minutes first to kill all the bugs on it. That's my two
Hey,
cents. Yeah.
And everyone's like, I fucking put the bag in the oven, my house burnt
Yeah.
down. You chicken.
Fire service is going to be on speed dial after this. Yeah.
I mean, these technically are questions for me as well, and
Okay. Well, you have a go.
I don't have an answer for that one.
Okay. So you're just following off the dodgy questions on me, are you?
No, we didn't get many. That is all of them. And then Tim Hopkins' inappropriate one.
We've cleared our workload.
Yeah. So, doctors and nurses need a new bike for Jack. Number one.
Yeah. Or just something to distract yourself. Get out there, get some fresh air, take your mind off things.
And be wary of fast food deliveries. Whack in the oven.
Oh no, I didn't say new bikes for everyone. I said continue giving free food and the support, because it does make the job slightly easier. That's what I said, wasn't it? I said more pizza.
That is what you said, but I was thinking just in your personal interest.
Yeah, send me lots of free cycling equipment, and I'll be very happy. Yeah.
No, it has been really nice to see people reach out. I even saw like a thing. Eddie Hearn, that boxing promoter, was like, "All NHS staff will have like he's going to give away tickets to like all boxing events for like a year."
Yeah,
like,
I got an email for free shoes from some company. And I was like, sick, free shoes. And then I went on their website. I was like, oh, those shoes are whack. I don't want to wear them.
they're just trying to offload them.
Yeah. I can't remember the brand, but yeah, we won't do any of that here.
We'll give our shit shoes to the
NHS. yeah. Probably trying to clear old stock. Yeah.
This is a personal question, actually. We have a thing called Patreon, which are like a lot of creative people and companies have, where people can donate money to like comedians will have it just to keep on the road, or artists to do their paintings. We were going to do it, but a percentage will go towards obviously fighting coronavirus in some way. I don't know if you have any ideas about what the best way to do that, because we want to funnel some money towards some, like, do the NHS have places, like, do they have like a charity page almost, or fundraising, or will it be a case of...
I don't know if you could just give it to, I think maybe if you found like a sort of community project or something specific that you wanted to support, that might be more straightforward. The other thing would be like basic scientific research for like vaccines. That would be really useful, because I guess that's the key to solving all of this. So I guess you have to look at some of the big universities doing stuff, or what sort of funding they need for these vaccine projects, because that's kind of the key to the solution.
Do you know anything about vaccine projects? Like, I've
read bits and pieces, but I think there's lots of people to work going on, but it's obviously very early stages, and yeah, I've not had anything definitive coming out. But I've only been sort of perusing the odd article here and there, so I think
maybe I'll have to take it upon myself to find someone that's very clued up on that.
Science, somebody clever.
Yeah, I'll have a look around. The internet has many wonderful people, so I'm sure.
What about you're supporting homeless people in this time of crisis? That's not a bad charity.
Yeah, we were thinking about a lot of different ones, because there's another one which, there's the issue of like school kids and like what to do with them at the minute. In terms of like a lot of them were dependent on school lunches and things like that. So we sort of like were swaying towards supporting the NHS or something, because that literally helps all groups of people. But whatever we choose, I think we're just going to pick someone, because I don't want to thinly spread. I'd rather raise a little chunk of something and just whack it someone's way. But the homeless, like we already have those channels set up to supporting the homeless, so that could definitely be one. I haven't actually seen many like charity initiatives like that so far.
That'd be interesting.
I suppose everyone's just like, I think they'll start to emerge, but I think everyone's just so flustered at the minute that I don't know.
It's difficult to get things off the ground, isn't it, when you can't leave your house to like meet people, as you say, and get organisations going and help people. So it's interesting. Nice tash.
Cheers, mate. I trimmed it just now, actually. I recorded another one of these with Tom earlier, and it looked atrocious. Self care was out the window. I've had it since Movember, and I've been like caring for it. And sometimes it just goes off the rails.
It's like a pot plant.
That's yeah. I mean, there's the two choices that you have with your hair, kind of at the minute. A lot of people are just shaving their head.
I need a haircut. I don't have a hair like a buzz trimmer, so that could be another thing. Like brave hairdressers could come into hospitals and cut NHS staff's hair. That would be big.
Ooh, that would actually be really good.
They could get like a hazmat suit and get all the gear on and do like 3 or 4 heads of hair. That'd be great.
And I'm sure loads of people would be up for doing that.
Yeah.
But loads of lads are just shaving their head. They're going for the bald look. It's a bit of a trend at the minute. Because I think there's all these blokes at home that are like nothing to do. Always wondered what look like bald. They're just like, bam. Yeah. Or you go really crazy and
bushy.
Big
yeah.
Head.
I'm scared that if I cut all my hair off, it just will never grow back, and I'll just be bald forever. Slightly premature.
Yeah.
Scary.
Mm.
These are the issues we have to deal with.
I'd keep your fingers crossed that the barbers in hospitals is going to happen, because I actually think you've predicted that. I think we will revisit this. And you saw the future, or you've prompted.
You heard it here first. Let's get the hype train going.
You know what? I'll try and get a barber, because it'll be interesting to talk about them, about their business and how that's all gone a bit.
Yeah, small independent business.
And I'll say, ever thought about cutting people, doctors and nurses' hair?
Did you ever get a haircut from that guy Yemi in Liverpool? He had a barber shop on Smithdown Road, and he used to cut like Victor. Was it Victor Wanyama? No, it wasn't Wanyama. Victor Moses. He used to play for Everton. He used to cut his hair. It was class.
No, I never went there.
He was great. You should call him up. It's just his hairdresser's called Yemi's. Just find it on Google Maps and then give him a ring. Be like, yo, do you want to do this cut? He'd be good. He gave me free beers and I went into his hairdresser as well. He was good.
Hey, we can have a beer on the Skype call together.
Bit of that.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely do that. I will ask you, not now, but you can have a think of who, if you know anyone else that you think I should get on, because I want to. So if you look at the identity we have for this connecting, your one will be connect, and then there'll be a little one on the top right. So you're number 1, and we're hoping that number gets to like.
Okay.
Because we keep going on and on and on.
So you want to suggest other people who I think would be worth an interview, or
just other people that could chat to, like maybe you know a fisherman, or like there's or someone like you find the vaccine person, or like just someone like that. You don't have to come up with them now, but like if they come to mind, be like.
Do you want like really wacky people, like really wacky people?
Oh yeah, wacky. Yeah, I want all types of people on this, like everyone.
Okay. All right.
We're connected. That's the idea. All together. One. God's plan. Thank you very much, Jack.
No, thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it. It's nice to see you as well and hear from you.
It is nice. It's always nice to catch up with people. Yeah. I am going to stop recording now.
Okay.
And I will tell you what Tim Hopkins wrote in the messages.